picture of any way, shape, or manner. She just disqualified herself, male or female. No, don't give me no explanation. I don't care how long you know each other.
How goes the family? Welcome back to Larry's Anything Goes. Hopefully you guys having a great and exceptional day. It is another beautiful day to be alive, so it's all good in the neighborhood. So with everything that's happened in today's world, I'm an 80s baby. And for my 80s babies that ever saw the movie known as Demolition Man, that had one of the greatest casts ever. Sylvester Stallone, Wesley Snipes, Sandra Bullock, Dennis Leary, countless others. All right, great cast, great movie. Movie was based in 1993. Now, I was in elementary school at the time. So as a kid, it was entertaining to me, especially the action-packed stuff. You know, the storyline was crazy, but so to give a little background, if you've never seen the movie Demolition Man. So I've just given you the people who were involved in it. It was basically from a present situation moving into the future and all that great stuff. All right, so let me read it. It's a science fiction film. And like I said, who it was starring, and basically Sylvester Stallone's partner, Sylvester Stallone's character, known as John Spartan, who is a risk-taking police officer who had a reputation for causing destruction while carrying out his work. After a failed attempt to rescue hostages from an evil crime lord known as Simon Phoenix, who was played by Wesley Snipes, they both played a great role. They were both sentenced to cryogenically frozen. All right. So Simon Phoenix, Wesley Snipes' character, was put up for parole hearing in the year of 2032, but he escaped. We're in 2023. So 2032, is basically 9 years away when you think about it. But and society has changed, and all crime has seemingly been eliminated. And the current police department at that time was unable to deal with the criminal as dangerous as Simon Phoenix, person who was played by Wesley Snipes' character. The authorities awakened John Spartan, who was played by Sylvester Stallone, to help capture him again. The story makes allusions to many other works, including a variety of things. I don't need to get into that. So basically, that's the short of it. They were both sentenced to be cryogenically frozen, the police officer and the criminal, and they were awakened because the movie was supposed to be based back in 1993 through 1996, and the world goes through a change. And what happened was there was massive environmental things taking place in the world. Now, bear in mind, this was a fictional movie. This was a movie, number one, but it was basically fictional, based off of fictional things made back in the 90s. But the world, there was violence everywhere, riots everywhere. There was no stability, and law enforcement and militaries could not, quote unquote, handle the situation. Then you had a lot of global situations happening, various earthquakes, wildfires everywhere, et cetera, and so forth. So they say it was a crazy time. And there was a man who basically, in a sense, became, I guess, in a sense, he was like a president. He helped establish order and establish peace. And he even outlawed, this is a crazy thing, he outlawed people having, and I will be appropriate, he outlawed people having intercourse, which in today's world, I think people need to slow down on that, but that's just another story for another day. But he outlawed people having intercourse. So they could have intercourse via the virtual reality, which a lot of people basically do that nowadays. It's called OnlyFans. So it's and the reason why I'm talking about it, because that movie had a lot of, predictions of, hey, what the future could possibly be. In the movie, you could not cuss. if you cussed, you'd hear go off, and then the person who was the president at the time would find you for cussing using a bad word, and you have to pay a ticket, a cussing ticket, as they call it. So it's fun. I'm laughing as I'm explaining this because are we 100% in that world right now? No, but we are similar. We're somewhat getting there now. I don't think to the extreme as the movie went, but especially to the point where the police force can't even handle violent criminals. At most, the police force would write people a ticket or something to that effect, or arrest people for actually having physical intercourse instead of having virtual reality intercourse. So I don't think we're at that level yet, but I think meat was illegal to eat at the time. So, and there was a scene where Sylvester Stallone, known as John Spartan's character, because he's trying to get adapted to the new world, and he's like, oh, Taco Bell. He's like, oh, I'm starving. I've had a real meal since, I've been, thawed out from being frozen in a cryogenics lab. So anyways, long story short, he goes to Taco Bell, and all they have there is he's thinking he's going to be able to get a taco or a burrito, but all they have is basically nachos and cheese. And so of course he's starving. And in a sense, I can relate to that because if you go to most restaurants nowadays, unless they're mom and pop, most restaurants, the food is just terrible. It's disgusting. It's just greasy. It's overly cooked. Or it's not cooked well enough. I don't care if you go to an IHOP, to a Chili's, to a whatever. Most food, no matter where you're at nowadays, is terrible. Just keeping it real. All right. Unless, I'm talking about America. But unless you go to specific restaurants where, it's for the most part, to me, they're not chains and mom and pop restaurants. So that means they're putting love into their food and they want people to actually come back to be their customers. But I digress. But anyways, so that's another thing that is interesting. Certain laws have been passed, whether it's been federal law or state laws, where you're not allowed to cuss anybody out. Like if any verbal quote unquote abuse, meaning if you cuss somebody out, you could literally go to jail. I believe something like that has happened in the state of Michigan. I'm not getting political because if you see my content, I think both parties are full of it. I don't play the political game. I'm good. We don't do politics here. We do economics here. So that's another thing that's taken into consideration. Now, I know the big, the decision with the Supreme Court in regards to college admissions. A lot of states have already gotten rid of their quote unquote, even California, like I said, certain blue states and red states have already gotten rid of their affirmative action programs when it comes to the schools situation. And me personally, I think I always say this is the generation from 2017 till now of high school graduates and college graduates. Employers have said for the years now, especially tech companies, they don't care about your college degrees. What skill sets are you coming to the table with? That's another thing to take into consideration. Now, we know that going to prestigious universities is not all about the education. It's about you being able to get access to the right people, networking. Like I'm going to Atlanta next month and have the opportunity to network with people because I'm going to DeWild University InvestFest. They just announced today that Diddy's going to be there. Sean, Puffy Combs is whatnot. He used to be known as Puff Daddy. Now, am I 100% going to get a chance to meet Diddy? Most likely not. But to be able to be in a room with people like that matters. And going to Ivy League universities is, at a time, even to this day, they put you in a room with CEOs, they put you in the room with the movies and the shakers of not only the United States of America, but the world. So I get it. Now, excuse me, am I a big fan of the affirmative action being taken down by the Supreme Court? Excuse me. Of course, this happens when I'm live by the Supreme Court. I have no emotions about it because I went to college, but I didn't go to the college in the traditional sense. In my early 20s, I wanted to work and get my money right. So I didn't go to college until my mid 20s. And I never was an academic in the quote unquote in the traditional sense. Once I started reading, I got 1,000 books all over the place. I thank you to podcasts. I listen to great intelligent conversation on a regular basis. So I consider myself to be an intelligent person, but am I an intelligent person in the eyes of academia? Most likely not, but most intelligent people aren't. So in academia, it's really always just been about, hey, not all about what you know, it's about who you know. And not only in academia, but in any job market. Nepotism is a beautiful thing, and it's not going anywhere anytime soon, regardless who's in the White House, governor's house, or mayor's house. But then, to take certain things into consideration, I always say, look, unless if you're Ivy League material, then so be it. But there's no reason for a young person to go to college nowadays unless they're going to college either to get into the room with the people who are making the money moves, or i.e. networking, i.e. building tomorrow's future corporations, robotics, whatever the case may be, or you're going to college for any sort of medical profession, tech, engineering, lawyer. Outside of that, I don't see a reason for any kid to go to college like that. Now, take certain college courses, especially going to community college to get some, perspective on certain things. Absolutely, yeah. But most, the jobs of today and tomorrow are going to be the people who have the skill sets, the skill trades, the people who can work on things, the people who are bringing some sort of an asset to an organization. The world has changed. We're in the time, like I always say, you have a generation of young people who, this is the first generation who is going to have to compete with robots and software. Robotics, ChatGPT. Need I say more? This is the first generation that's going to have to compete with this, regardless of who's in the White House, governor's house, or mayor's house. That's why, just like I said on my last live on Instagram, if you're not operating like a corporation with your friends and family, then you will essentially be dealt with financially. It is what it is. But what do I know, right? That's why like I said, I'm in my 40s. I'm at a point that I do not want to engage with other grown men who are not trying to make a money move, who I can't learn from. And if they're not trying to learn from me, then there's no point of us being around each other. It's a waste of it's a waste of both of our times. We can go out and have a good time every now and then. Sure, absolutely. But it is a waste of our freaking times. I'm gonna leave it at that. Okay, on some realness. So, but anyways, now back to the movie of Demolition Man. How does this relate to the world that we're in now? Now, there was a part in the movie where Wesley Snipes says the year is 2032. And I'm sorry to say that the world has become a scary, sorry, pathetic little Brady Bunch version of itself. You don't know what the Brady Bunch is? It's basically it was a good family comedy show that was made back in the 70s, and mother, father, and everybody, everybody was pleasant. And even when they had bad moments, nobody ever cussed and nobody ever got in fights with each other as far as physical law. They were considered to be America's perfect family in a sense, especially for the time of the 1970s. So I think the show aired in 1969. Because I was a kid, I used to watch the reruns, and they had 2 Brady Bunch movies that came out when I was a kid, and I watched them. So yeah, I was a cornball. But anyways, so the year is 2023. So I'm going off of Wesley Snipes' character Simon Phoenix. The world is 2023, and I was just having this discussion yesterday. This is not political related, so if anybody mentioned politics, I'm laughing at you. This is just the world as a whole, and for the most part, a lot more people have become way more backstabbing, selfish, conniving. Sometimes it's just a little bit crazy all at the same time. Entitled, spoiled. I mean, especially some of the parents out here. Look, I'm not a parent, but man, some of the stuff that the parents do for their kids nowadays is asinine. Like like their kids are not supposed to learn how to do anything on their own. Their kids are not supposed to have any repercussions for their actions. Like spoiled upon spoiled upon spoiled. It amazes me. It amazes me. The loser culture, the spoiled culture, the brat culture, you know, the year 2023, the most spoiled generation of children. Even what is it? Even people who are not even rich, they go out of their way to spoil the heck out of their kids compared to how I grew up, you know. So that's just how I look at that. Um, More people, like I said, not only more people are, and you still have good people in this world. I'm not totally oblivious to knowing that there are good people in this world. Heck, I was broke down on the road the other day, and Good Samaritans helped me out. And I saw somebody broke down on the road yesterday, and I helped them out. So, you know, there are still some decent, good people out here. But unfortunately, it's, it, in a sense, we're kind of living out in the wild, wild west because, you know, how, and I'm talking about, I don't care if gun rights, I'm not getting into that, but the opportunity of you getting shot is greater than it ever was before. The opportunity of somebody robbing you is greater than it ever was before, from a physical standpoint or a hacking standpoint, digital standpoint. But you know, I always say I try to appreciate life more because I always say, hey, I don't know. A lot of people act like we were never in a global lockdown during 2020 and 2021. So, and we didn't know what was going to happen. So, with that being said, a lot of people act like they don't know that we were in a, you know, that we were in a lockdown for a minute. So, a lot of people don't remember to say, hey, I appreciate the fact that I can get on an airplane and go someplace. I appreciate the fact that I can get on a cruise and go someplace. Appreciate the fact that I can go, even if you don't want to, but I can go into an office and, you know, be around people. You know, heck, a lot of kids appreciate being back in school. Most of the parents told me during the lockdown that their kids hated the online schooling. And I don't even think, like, when that was happening, I believe in 2020 they just shut the school system down completely across the country, and a lot of kids had to make up for it. And then a lot of the people who I know are teachers, they told me how horrific it was for them to get they said most of the kids didn't even do their work. So I'm on the record saying I appreciate being able to go out and have a good time. I appreciate being able to go to the gym. I never forget when the gyms finally opened back up in 2021. I appreciate being able to go work out at a gym. Okay. Especially without a mask on. But I understood why we had the mask on. So that's what I'm not getting. This isn't politically based discussion. This is me saying I'm grateful. No, people, because so many people are such brats and they want to get their points across so bad that they don't know when to just say, hey, I'm thankful. Okay, I'm thankful for this. I'm thankful for that. So that's all I got to say on that aspect. But yes, the world has changed. And instead of it being a Brady Bunch version, what is today's world really like? What TV show can I say that today's world in 2023, really for like the last 3 years now, since the pandemic happened, what is the world truly like? And the only show I can, not even show, movie. I'll name a movie. For my 80s babies, if you ever remember the movie known as Class Act, starring the rap duo Kid and Play, and I'm glad that they're still doing great things out there. Maybe hopefully one day, if they have a show that comes through my town, I'll get to see them perform. Yeah, I can't believe that was 1992 when that movie came out. But yeah, this was a great movie, Class Act. So let me just read the actual definition of it because it was a great comedy film. All right. So, anyways, what was the movie about? It was based out in the San Fernando Valley area of California, of Los Angeles. Um, okay, I'm trying to find the freaking what the actual there it goes. Plot. A genius high school student, Duncan Penderhughes, is getting ready for graduation, but it's somewhat disheartened to find out that despite his perfect SAT scores and 4.0 GPA, prestigious Hartford University, which was supposed to be like Harvard University, will not admit him unless he can pass phys ed. Ex-convict Michael Blade Brown, who's played by Play from Kid and Play. Kid is Duncan Penderhughes. Is released from jail and told by his parole officer that the conditions of his release is satisfactory: graduation from high school, and mishap results in their pictures being swapped on their permanent school records. An effort, Blade surprised to find out that he is being placed in a gifted classes, while Duncan is shocked to be placed in the minimal classes with substandard conditions and miscreants for classmates. Blade realizes this and sees Duncan as his ticket permanently out of jail. And Duncan could pass his classes with ease, as far as and then obviously Duncan sees, hey, you can use him to pass phys ed and all that great stuff. So that's what the world is like to me now, because so many people are very, very fake. Men and women, whatever. People, we have all these filters online with social media. We have all these things that people are getting done medically because nobody wants to actually physically work out or have a diet, or have a reasonable diet, or just because rest in peace to DC Young Fly's wife. I believe allegedly she had a medical issue that took her out because she was way too young to die. And I'm not going to say anything disrespectful about this young woman who passed away, because a man lost his wife and kids lost their mother. So I'm not going to say anything disrespectful. But you had people having these body surgeries, BBLs, whatever you want to call them, and a lot of people, unfortunately, are dying from them or having way worse medical issues. I mean, heck, I never forget. I think it was sometime last year. I was at a Walmart, and this one woman looked like she was about to keel over, because I could tell she had the booty job done somewhere, probably back in her home country, because I could tell she's from Central South America, and she did not even look right. There was nothing sexy or beautiful about this woman, because she looked so made up. And people want to swap to be somebody else so bad. So many people don't want to be themselves. So many people are not comfortable with being themselves in today's world that I don't even know what to say anymore. Because I think that's what 2023 has turned into. Everybody's so fake. And if I see another twerk video, I'm just going to start laughing, because like twerking is like seeing people smoke weed and cigarettes and drink alcohol nowadays. It's so basic and common, like it's not even a big deal. Only time anybody even says anything about it being crazy is when somebody does it at like a graduation at a church. I believe these young ladies were in Ghana, and they were where the slave trade one of the biggest slave trades took place, and because they called it the Gold Coast, and they were twerking and shaking their butts and whatnot at the slave prison and whatnot. And I'm just like, this is ridiculous and disrespectful all at the same time. But anyways, being ignorant and being disrespectful has just become so basic nowadays. I don't even know what to say anymore. And then if you say, hey, be somewhat respectful, then you're looked at as the bad person. Now that I'm in my 40s, you're looked at as the old guy, old guy in the room. So I don't even I don't even know what to say anymore. But people just don't care. Now, there's a lot of things I don't care about, but one thing I do care about is how I look when I walk outside the house, how I conduct myself in public, and how, especially when how I even conduct myself online. I don't get the views and the likes and the clicks like that because I don't sound like I gotta, I'm fresh out of the back alley and whatnot and all that good stuff, and I don't conduct myself in that manner. I'm not going to. It's not that serious to get clickbait like that. But we, before I end this video off tonight, we are basically living in the time of Demolition Man, meaning that the world has changed. See, from that movie, it was based in, hey, the world went from the 90s to 2032. We went from 2019 to 2023, and the world has changed in so many different ways, which has nothing to do with politics and just has everything to do with people's selfishness and greed and nonsense all at the same time, all morphed into one. And then, of course, we live in the generation of I'm right, regardless of what I say. Nobody can ever just, like grown up, especially grown men, can never just say, I was wrong. My mistake. I apologize. No, we live in the world where everybody has to be so arrogant, pompous, and it's not even confident, it's conceited to the point where they're right all the time. And I don't know what planet people come from, but I know I'm not right all the time. That because if you think you're right all the time, that means you can't learn anything new. That is the art of getting educated, whether it's self-education or being educated by somebody else. You learn by trial and error, mistakes. Even adults make mistakes. But even when a lot of adults make mistakes, they'll just say, "Oh, get over it. Blow off. Shut up. I made a mistake. Shut up." So I leave it at that. That's the world we're living in now. We've gone through a transformation, and I'm sure by the time 2032 gets here, because it's not that far away, like I said, it's 9 years away. Who knows what this world is going to morph into? By that time, I'll be 49 years old. Hopefully I'm still here. But I'll leave it at that. But it's interesting. I think the next live I'll do is today's forecast. We're all going to die. If you've never seen it, it's basically me mocking the media, because that's what the media loves to do, is keep people in fear and distracted all at the same time. And I love to just mock them when they do that. So it is what it is. But hey, thank you for tuning in. Do the great things. Like, share, subscribe. Hopefully you guys have a great day. It's been interesting times that we're living in. And now that we're in month 7 in July, let's see where this roller coaster really takes us. All right. So on that note, as always, say, family, make money moves. You're going to live, bro, like a fool. Enjoy your life. Do your research. Don't just listen to random people online. Go from there. All right. I'm out.
Mike, now. Mike, now.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Larry's Anything Goes. Hopefully you're having a great day. If you've been watching Larry's Anything Goes programming, you know that we are not only providing great financial intelligence content as much as possible by interviewing other financial professionals, professionals in the travel industry, real estate industry, etc., and so forth, but we provide various services when it comes to specific products that we sell, from anything that you would actually find on Amazon or actually at Walmart, etc., and so forth. And we are actually providing specific products due to today's current crisis and whatnot, to ensure that we provide the right services and products that you need at a reasonable price when it comes to medical face masks, when it comes to hand sanitizer, and when it comes to latex gloves and things of that nature, and etc., and so forth, toilet paper, paper towels. But we have what you need. Also, family, don't forget that Larry's Anything Goes is a part of an affiliate marketing network known as Gold Standard Partners, where you have the opportunity to buy cryptocurrency and allow others to invest with you as becoming an affiliate marketing partner. And obviously, if they purchase a package with the program, you're able to make money off their package purchases and make money off of their crypto purchases and things of that nature. If you want to join, please follow the links in the description, and I'll give you a call as soon as you sign up and purchase a package, and we'll go from there. But definitely, it's all about the best way to make money moves is to have currency with one another, and to ensure that currency is always being spoken of on all levels, so it benefits everyone and not just one specific person. That's a lot of things that people forget about. So think about joining the program, and we'll be able to go from there. But if not, either way, it's always appreciated. And thank you for watching, and hopefully you guys have a great day and continuously make money moves so you don't live, bro, like a fool. Take care. As you can see, with our various products, we have our financial apparel, as you see, wearing There's Anything Goes t-shirt, financial intelligence is sexy, face masks, latex gloves, things of that nature, to obviously ensure the safety of you and your family all at the same time. We want to ensure that you get the best products and see the actual products that we're actually providing for you, and giving you another view of not only the shirts and the medical masks, but actually another view of actual latex gloves and the actual hand sanitizer, because one thing we've learned throughout this unfortunate crisis is that we have to take more precautionary measures to ensure not only the safety for ourselves but for our families. And having a great pair of hand sanitizers, latex gloves, and medical face masks will ensure that safety. And with all that being said, hopefully you guys will check out our online store. We have the various products that you see here. With a couple of clicks, especially if you're paying via PayPal, it makes life that much easier for you to purchase our various products, especially during this unfortunate situation. You see the apparel from LarrysAnythingGoes. We have the medical products when it comes to hand sanitizer, latex gloves, medical face masks, and things of that nature, and various other products. So please check out LarrysAnythingGoes. Support small local businesses. We greatly appreciate it, and hopefully that you have a good day.
Mike. Now.